This actually, I had this sermon written, and then I watched a show last night, and after the show, I felt like that God voice said, "You know that sermon you wrote? I don't like it. I want you to do it over." So I did. And as I was sitting here waiting to preach to you all, I had a feeling like I was missing something. And I thought, I need a stole. And I knew exactly which one to take. This stole was given to me by one of my ancestors, Bobby Jean Baker. And she gave it to me the first time I ever presided over communion at City of Refuge. And I went to give it back to her after, and she said to me, "Oh no, that's yours. Keep it. Wear it." I believe very strongly in legacy. So as I was thinking about Martin Luther King, a lot came to my mind. My Janelle and I watched a show on MSNBC called The Way I See It. It's a story about the White House photojournalist named Peter Souza, and he was the photographer for Reagan. He was the photographer for Obama. And as I watched the pictures go across my screen, I was just taken back. I thought, I want to go back there. I want to go back to those times. I want that feeling that we had when Obama was elected and there was dancing in the streets. And I felt angry that we may not have that opportunity because of the danger, the threat of danger and violence that is at our state capital right now. But this show depicted so much of his time in the White House. They say a picture paints 1,000 words, and that happened. The pictures brought you right in so that you could almost feel what was going on, whether it was the president with his children, his family, with his wife, whether it was from foreign dignitaries or White House staff. But the ones that really got to me were something that we haven't seen a lot in 4 years. And that's a president who was at different adversities that happened in the country, different areas where there were um, tornadoes and fires, and uh, they had a picture of him over at Sandy Hook, where he consoled people. There was this one woman who was just sobbing and weeping, and he just held her so close as she wept. I haven't seen that in 4 years. I haven't seen anything close to that. So all those candid shots that were taken went straight to the heart. And Janelle and I both watched in silence, tears running down our cheeks, and some points just saying, wow, that was something. Wow, that was special. I was just began to be filled with this feeling of longing to be back there. And I thought, what would King think about that? What would King think about? How would he be feeling when he saw Raphael Warnock preaching for the first time as the newly elected senator from the now blue state of Georgia? I can only imagine how he would feel about the glass ceiling that was broken by Kamala Harris, a strong woman of color who is now going to be voted in as the first vice president of the United States. I can only imagine how his face would look as he saw all these people of color, all the diversity that is coming into this new administration. Our country needs this. I thought as I went back that I no longer wanted to be ashamed to be an American. I wanted a leader. I want a leader. We need a leader. And King went and stood up to all those who were against him. I watched as President elect Biden talk about his plan to get 100,000 COVID vaccines in the arms of people from the first 100 days of his administration. Because we all know that nothing much has been done about the management of this virus. We have vaccines, but no plan for getting them out to people. And COVID 19, just as hate, just as injustice, just as all the obias and phobias that we have, we don't see them. We can't see that there's this virus coming towards us, but yet we know it's there. We know that hatred is there. We know that racism is there. We know that xenophobia is there. And we never know when we're going to see that or hear that. And what I do know is that this current administration has a real mess to clean up from the past administration. And I thought, I would love to be sitting next to Martin Luther King right now and just talk to him, hear what he had to say. We have a country that is broken and divided and hate sick. It surely isn't a place where dreams can happen like the mountaintop dream that King speaks of when he said, I have been to the mountaintop. These 4 years have been hard. This new administration has a lot of work to do. I at least know and I can see the clouds of darkness beginning to move and that there's a light beginning to dawn between them. But getting to this point, as difficult as it is, was hard. It's hard on all of those people who are stuck in systems of oppression. It's been hard for people who have to worry about whether or not their child is going to be shot that day. I can't imagine how. I said to my neighbor, who's a dark skinned man, and I said, he has a grandson, and I said, do you worry about him every time he goes out? And he said, yes. I can't imagine what it would be like to live like that. We all have to lift each other up. And King did that with people. He prayed hard. They all prayed hard. And when I saw Biden get up and talk to us, I saw a kind, gentle person who really knew how to speak into those who are listening to him. And there was Vice President elect Harris sitting next to him. And to me, that all showed the change, how we pass it down. I would want for King to rest. I'd probably go get him a cup of coffee or something and I'd just talk to him. It bothers me that on this inauguration day, which should be a time for us to celebrate, we have 25,000 troops surrounding the Capitol building. So unfortunately, his inauguration will not be the same as others because of the fear of violence. We're dealing with a president who is desperate to hold on to his office now that he has been asked to leave. We're watching people and sponsors and financial institutions pulling away as they all realize the emperor has no clothes. We watched in horror as hundreds of people stormed the Capitol while the electoral votes were confirmed. We have to remember that those people were not there to protest. Those people were attempting to stage a coup. They were there to overtake the building. And by overdoing that, would be successful at stopping the peaceful transition of power. I remember seeing a dark-skinned, um, what was the Capitol Police person single-handedly, not having anybody there, diverting an angry mob away from an office where Pence was sitting. They went there shouting, hang Mike Pence, hang Mike Pence. But we've heard that before with other people. They were out to assassinate Nancy Pelosi. These are the people, the angry insurrectionists, who probably would have chosen Barabbas over Jesus. So, where are we today as we remember Martin Luther King? I don't know about any of you, but I'm exhausted like I've never been exhausted before. The past 4 years have just worn me out. My spirit is both worn and I'm also so wary. We have been lied to, we have been gaslighted, we have been ignored, and we see black people being killed by white police officers, and there's nothing done with these people who are killing black people. There are no charges brought up against them. We've seen immigrant children being ripped away from families and put into cages. We see good people being treated badly. And that's the same thing that King saw. So our legacy is that we were all fighting injustice. But at the end of the documentary, when I read over the homily, I thought to myself, what would King do in the situation that we find ourselves in? And then I remembered the picture I saw of King and his followers kneeling on the sidewalks in Selma. King was a peaceful warrior, and we have to remember that. Just as Jesus was a peaceful warrior. When they came to arrest Jesus, Simon Peter took out his sword and struck the high priest's servant and cut off his right ear. And Jesus commanded him to put his sword away. This is what we're being asked to do. I believe that social justice work begins in the heart, in our hearts. I believe that social justice begins by relearning how to be in community. We've all been sent, I feel like we've all been sent to our corners, and it's been far too long. I miss being with people. And I'm an introvert. We have had a lot of time to reflect. We've had a whole lot of time to look inside. And while we can speak and talk all we want about white, white, white privilege and racism, etc., we can speak of it. But we think what we need to do is to start taking steps into that. What does that mean for me? What areas of my life? How are my actions complicit in privilege and oppression? It's been hard. I believe that the church has an answer for that because we're asked to have faith. And it's hard to have faith when you've been lied to for so long. It's hard to have faith when you've been gaslighted. It's hard to have faith when you feel like you don't matter. But we all do. So this is a faith walk for us. And in doing some of that work, I believe the church is a place where we can bring our doubt, because I'm sure a lot of us have a lot of doubt. It's a place where we can bring our doubt and talk about it without fear of reprisal or rejection. I wish King was still alive. I really would like to know what Martin Luther King would do. Thank you.